Hello everyone, I am back once again with another Jake's Metal Chat. I'll just sort out things. Hang on. Yeah, I'll do. T-shirt is Democritus because I had Steve on, Steve Moomin Jenkins. He's the vocalist of this band. We discussed them. Gonna get a beer in. Let my guests in a minute. Oh, such a good beer. It's this one. Don't ask me how to say it, but it's a nice German beer. It's got a very smoky taste to it. I had this at a pub here in Bristol called the Rummer, and yeah, I've liked it ever since. I had it. What was it? Christmas 2019, I think. No, 2018, because I met up with some people. Let my guests in a minute. Just to let you know, people, my first episode of my podcast is up and running of Jake's Metal Sessions. So all that will just be mainly me talking about the bands and then playing the music. And I'm keeping Jake's Metal Chat as just chatting. So I'm going to let my guests in. I will be doing another podcast soon. It's all to do with mainly newer bands. I'm not going to say which bands. Just have to be just have to be just have to be surprised about that, because there's going to be some new bands that you may not know about. And one of my guests has just left. And yeah, basically this will be like, that's basically going to be a series. Like, it's going to be like new bands to check out. And I'm still playing with the title, but I might just call it that. And then obviously doing the Bristol scene, the Welsh scene, the Scottish scene, Irish scene, all pretty much metal scenes all over. So I'll let them both in now. Well, one of them. And we'll get on with the chat. Fid. There he is. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad.
Not
Yourself?
bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Just waiting
Standard
on
Friday.
Yeah. Just having a nice beer. Don't know if you had it.
Did you get that from the Griffin?
No. I got it from was it Books and Bottles or Bottles and Books? That website. Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Yeah,
More of a gin guy myself.
I think they got a few gins on there. Yeah, I was just waiting for our other guest to arrive, Mr.
Yeah.
Harry.
Give him a quick nudge, shall I?
Wait, he should be coming in. No, it's Fred Durst.
It's Fred Durst.
Hello?
Hey, Harry.
Oh, why wasn't my... Yeah, there we go. Hey, it works.
It works.
How's it going, man?
Oh, good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
How's the cat?
When he's behaving, he's an angel. Outside of that, yeah, I'll let you make your own assumptions.
Little terror, I'm guessing.
He's noisy when he wants to be. Put it like
that. Yeah, I had a cat like that. Just kept going.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yeah. Not many nights where you sleep all the way through, shall we say?
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits you have having a pet.
Well, you know what you sign up for, right?
You know what you sign up for.
Yeah.
On that note, welcome to Jake's Metal Chat. This is episode 32. You are one of the guests, because I had Paul Speckman from Master on the last one.
Yeah, I checked out. Yeah, I was checking out about the last one. You were showing off your vinyls and that.
Because the vinyl I showed, two vinyl I showed, of one of his other bands, and I bought them from him because he sells a lot of it. Well, he sells a lot of his own stuff. So
Cool, man.
It's like, not borrowing anyone else or sell my own stuff. Cool. And that's it, really. Yeah, well, let me introduce these people. They probably don't need any introduction, but I'm going to give them one. This is Harry, and this is Finn. Harry is the vocal, and Finn is the guitarist and does some backing vocals for Embodiment. Or embodiments.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Bristol
embodiments.
represent.
You do, yeah, represent. And you haven't checked these guys out yet? I highly recommend you do if you love your technical brutality. And
We try.
you try, you try. You try and succeed in my eyes
Thank you.
and my ears, my eyes and ears, my eyes and my ears, and my beer. I don't know.
Yeah, there's often plenty of that.
There's plenty of beers, and I'm seeing some posters by Harry.
Oh yeah, right. Got the still old embodiment logo.
Old Embodiment logo. Yeah, that's the old one, folks. We've got a new one, which is pretty much more.
It was a cool logo. It's
It's
just
cool.
that as we've moved more towards like a brutal, well, more of just a death metal sound, it just stopped. You know, you look at it and it was hard to place what sort of band we were. You know, so but it was a cool logo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you know, Pete smashed a new one out the park, definitely as well.
Yeah, a lot more fitting onto sort of death metal lineups. You can kind of get a much better idea of what you're going to get.
Because it's blue tack and I've removed it. That's it broken now. You know what blue tack's like. It either stays there for 30 years or won't stay there for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
It won't stay there for 30 years. I was on that wall for 30 seconds. That picture has now been taken off the wall. I was there for 40 years.
I've thought about framing some of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I want to get some big frames as well. My big Spyro poster.
Yeah, might as well frame them and so you can keep them forever.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And go back in my day.
I've got posters, I believe, dating back to the first gig. The first. There we go. Just down there. I'm not going to remove that.
Don't move it.
That's the first gig I ever did with Embodiment, right? I think it fits.
No, it's not. Is it?
At the Griffin.
Was it the Griffin? Griffin first. With I can't remember. It's one of the Ben gigs.
That's maybe the second or third.
That was the first
one Kieran played.
First one Kieran did. Yeah, Cambia one. I remember Cambion really blew me away.
It was Cambion, Fisher Riddles, without consent. Remember them? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Their logo is literally goatsy. And Us and Thieves by the Coat. Yeah, it was a great show.
That was cool.
Cambion, man, they was a massive band.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The first time I saw Embodiment, it might have been before Harry joined. I don't know.
It could have been because the first gig we ever played in Bristol was a Griff Fest lineup.
Yeah.
Must have been like 2014, I think it was, with the original vocalist.
And you did Metal to Masses the same year as well.
Yeah.
So
you were going on to them, Jake. Yeah, you definitely would have seen them.
Yeah. I saw them before Harry came into the fold.
Yeah, funny. I managed to catch Embodiment a few times as far as in the band as well. Actually,
that's cool. Catching the band before being in the band. That's pretty cool. Now I'll get this question out of the way first because everyone knows what's going on in the world. When the pandemic hit the first time round, not the second time, or even the third time, which is happening right now.
The endless lockdown.
Yeah.
How are you guys coping with it?
It did kind of hit us at not the best time. Obviously, we spent a load of time working on Pound Genesis. We just released it sort of like a month in. We've been kind of just dealing with it on our own way, sort of.
Yeah, as far as
catching up with each other.
as far as the band goes, obviously we'd planned to do like an album release show and hopefully like book up some tours. I was in discussion with a few different bands, you know, like did you want to go on tour because we're releasing an album, and there were a few UK bands that were releasing stuff last year. We thought be good team ups, but obviously all that just went straight down the pan. But it was still cool to release the album. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
we did the live stream, which I don't think we would have done, would we? To be honest, if we hadn't have had to assess doing something different to sort of celebrate the launch, which I think sort of pushed us more to do things like this, or you know, like what you've got planned and that thing, and what you've done, where you did the guitar playthrough. On a personal level, it's been pretty shit. I was working at the cinema at the start of all this, and obviously those kind of sectors have been really hard hit. Luckily, I have moved on to other work, but yeah, I mean everyone's been affected personally, haven't they, by this? And it's I'd say the worst thing for me, or like at least a lot of people I know, is obviously our entire social lives were designed around gigs, right? Like going to events.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, that's where we saw everyone. That was our thing, right? The Griffin in particular was like everybody's comfort zone, and it's been ripped away from us all a little bit. You know, that's what I would point out. Is probably like the thing a lot of people have said to me about it.
Yeah, that was basically our, social life. Go to work, then you go to gigs, or or just meet up at the pub for a pint or two, or even more than that. Actually, we leave that at festivals. Just drink silly.
Yeah. This is the first time in 11 years where I haven't gone to a festival. Well, I suppose if you count last year as well, you know, it's just crazy. And obviously they're like the huge social event of the year, right? Or like that's how you. For me, it's like the festivals are like the defining point of the year. Like you're building up to it all year, and then after the festival, you know, you've got all the lineups and the hype, and without all that, you know, it just kind of feels like we're drifting year to year still. It's crap. It's crap. I don't want to be too much of a towner about it.
No,
we've all covered that a million times.
Yeah, because everyone else has talked about it in previous episodes. So
yeah, I imagine that sentiment's been echoed right throughout.
Pretty much been much expressed by every other person that's been on this. I don't call it a show as much, but it's just me chatting to people. I ask them a few questions, and we just chat bollocks. Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen television shows with less structure than that, you know. So
yeah, they just do it as like right, turn the cameras on, action. They just come out with something. Me, I just like ask a few questions, then just chat about something, then ask some more questions, and that's how I roll. And obviously, when I was at gigs, it'd be headbang or get in the pit, or at least film a song or two of each band. But obviously, haven't done that.
There's always that kind of social discussion at gigs, especially like Metal to the Masses. For me, is like go see your first band, have your break, you can just chat to people about how you felt, and you just sort of carry on like that throughout the night.
Yeah, obviously the three of us have all been judges, haven't we?
On I've been a judge. I think it was the 2018 Metal to the
Masses. I love doing those events, and I love Metal to the Masses because that's how we know a lot of our friends now. You know, me and you both didn't exactly have a huge friend circle when we moved here, did we?
No, not really.
It's Metal to the Masses was one of those things that put us with a load of the bands and friends we have now. You know, like Ascaris, Mortishead. You know, that's a great, again, another social thing, right, that we're missing out on.
Just everyone's missing it, and let's hope it all gets back to normal. Well, normal. Whatever.
Asbestos is any improvement, right, is good. That's just
any improvement, yeah.
Focus on the positives.
Let's focus on the positives. Now, for my next question. Where did your music journeys begin, and how did it get into this fantastical music we call metal?
first album I ever had was actually White Stripes' Elephant. The first album I sort of borrowed. So listening to that, listening to all the Jack White's guitar sounds really sort of inspired me a bit more.
Mm.
So I kind of went from White Stripes to Green Day, American Idiot,
Oh, yeah.
then into His Infernal Majesty, Dark Light. Then I kind of got into the sort of metalcore, early sort of Trivium, but for Valentine, Treyu. And it just kind of led on from there. There's a bit of a sort of gap in my memory of how it actually transitioned to what it was to what it is. I just kept listening and finding stuff which sort of entertained me and made me smile, really. That's the best way I can think about it.
Awesome.
Nice. I guess you could start like my mum used to listen to a lot of like classic rock stuff with me when I was a kid. You know, we used to grow up listening to like Pink Floyd and the Beatles, David Bowie, then like a bit of a harder stuff like Rainbow and Led Zeppelin. Remember the really big thing for me was Black Sabbath is massive. Funnily enough, I actually got into Black Sabbath through Vicar of Dibley, because there's that bit where she's got the Black Sabbath vinyl in Vicar of Dibley, and my mum had it's just the greatest hits one, and my mum had the same CD as the vinyl, and I was like, oh, is that good? And she was like, oh, you know, you need to listen to this, and that was a real big one for me, Black Sabbath. And then like I got into the sort of stuff around the time that we were growing up, like Trivium, Bullet for My Valentine, and Shadows Fall, Killswitch Engage, Ocean Said, stuff like that. And then I kind of went backwards. I started listening to like Slayer and Metallica because I was like, oh, I want to see the bands that influenced the bands I liked, you know. And I got really into a lot of that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's just the kind of I've kept up with what's evolved out of like a lot of the stuff that we liked. You know, you got a lot of the modern stuff. Right now, it's lots of like technical death metal and progressive death metal scene. I like a lot of shit coming out of that. I don't know. You say about the journey of metal. I say it's just been a natural thing for me. Always to listen to like rock music and stuff like that. I say because my mum was massive and she'd always push all loads of albums on me. Listen to this.
Listen to this.
Yeah. And I inherited her vinyl collection, and I think that's where my obsession of having like a million billion CDs. I had such a huge collection at one point. You know, was from that. In terms of like playing, or vocals, or you know, I don't know how to define that one, but I didn't actually know I was a vocalist until it happened, right? Like Finn, you could like feel this one. It didn't.
Yeah, Finn.
Well, it was Sarah who told me. Well, I think it was you as well at a gig. You just did it, and then ideas started happening.
Yeah, I'd messed around with like the idea of doing vocals, and a lot of it was just driving around in my work van, screaming along to like my favorite stuff. And then I started being like, well, this is interesting. How do you actually do this without it sounding like you're Marge Simpson once you're done? You know, so I looked into Zen of screaming and stuff like that, and learned from there. I do play a little guitar, so I try to take a bit of like interest, like more now in like how theory and stuff like that worked. But I never really considered myself a musician until I was doing what I did with Embodiment. Whereas I think you've had the opposite experience, right, Finn? Like you've been doing this.
Yeah, I've always been a musician, really. Played piano from a young age. Moved on to electric guitar. Even at one point, I did actually do sort of choir style vocals, which is not something that people don't really know about me. Not that I still do it at all.
Can we have some of that on the new Embodiment? Can we have some choir?
I got a better VST synth than I could ever pull off. But yeah, so this thing I've always been kind of learning by ear, learning songs by ear, even back piano. Remember the first thing I ever actually learnt by ear was the Simpsons theme tune. yeah, that was the very first thing I learned, and just sort of went from there.
Nice.
It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. All that Danny Elfman whole tone scales, and
It's got that brutal run at the end, doesn't it? You know, like,
that's quite tricky actually to play. Like I was saying, that little run is quite tricky.
Yeah, I remember trying to learn the Mario theme, and it's got that like.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is a lot harder than I
It's
thought.
not harder than it looks. Because I watched there was someone who had a bass. It was like I don't know, 12, 13, whatever, how many strings it was on this bass, and he was playing the Mario theme.
I think I have seen the video. Is that where they're tapping it?
It's like
No, that's
Yeah.
Is it? He's got
Yeah,
the
he's, like,
two.
tapping it
He's got the two guitars, and he's doing it like a
oh,
keyboard.
there's one like well, no, there's one who's got like a big oversized bass, and he's tapping the strings. He's like, I was just like, see, this is why I cannot do this sort of thing. I just stick with simplistic sort of thing. I can't do what Finn does on his guitar with the sweeps and everything. I can't do it. I tried, and I was like, nope, I give up.
Yeah,
I'll leave it to those who can actually do it.
You gotta
You
play
gotta
the same thing a million.
play the
million
same
times
thing
in
a
row.
million times to a click track. Give up any sense of social life for your entire life.
No social life.
Yeah, basically.
Just play
That's how
guitar.
you do it. What's the thing that Les always says? It's like 10,000 hours you need to spend on something to
No.
master it. I'd say I probably exceeded that.
That's yeah. Just spend hours and hours on your guitar, all your drums, all your bass, all your vocals, and you'll be in tip-top shape.
Yeah, you don't always see the journey though, or the struggles when you learn an instrument, because it's quite disheartening for people if they start learning a sort of thing and then they can't get where they want to immediately. They do tend to sort of get down about it and not really want to progress. I mean, I've been there myself with certain things. I start to learn and I just can't. But
What I found is you
about
need that like
persistence.
structure of like learning something, because like I had guitar for like 10 years where I just messed around on it, and that's pretty much all I did was just like learn a couple of riffs and just like play some easy shit, and then whenever it got to like a wall, it'd just be like, oh fuck it, I'll learn this another time, or I can't be asked, or and then the only way to get better, right, is to structure your time that you spend with it. I found a bit more. Be like, right, I'm going to play this bit, and I'm going to play it every day for like forever until I get it right. Rather than just I'm going to play for like 8 hours today and then not touch guitar for like another week. You know, muscle memory, right?
Yeah, muscle memory. Just like I've done that with some songs, and like I'll go back to it, then like play it and then stop playing it. I go back to it, it's like, oh, I remember this now. You know, and even when I'm doing vocals, I'm like, got to remember this line now without actually looking at a lyric sheet.
The beautiful thing about death metal, right? Forget the words,
just make noise.
Just make noise, especially in like brutal death metal bands with like really low gut, really low.
Even like Cannibal Corpse, I'm pretty sure sometimes he is just going.
Like,
rather than pronouncing words, I'm sure he is.
Like he's probably pronouncing them, but it just come out. But then when he does his screams, that kind of gets lost. When he does his high bits, it's like
Johan Hegg from Amon Amarth, he always says, he's like, sing along, it's death metal, doesn't matter if you don't know the words.
Doesn't matter if you don't know the words, just sing along and raise your horns. I already am. Oh, you meant this horn. Oh, no, that one. Because I got that song, raise your horns. It is a drinking song in a sense. This is like
that was a bit different for them, wasn't it? It was a bit more like
because usually it's battles and
I don't want to say hands in the air, but like it is one of those like big.
They're usually singing
big
about
festival song, right?
Battle, yeah.
It's obvious that that's their because they're much bigger now, right, than they were. Like even I remember seeing them like 10 years ago, and it was like, oh yeah, within the melodic death scene, they're kind of like well known, but like holy shit, they're like real mainstream. I don't mean that as a bad thing, but
they just they started in the 90s, and all of a sudden from there they've just built this massive fan base all around the world.
Yeah, I only really came aware of them at like Twilight of the Thunder God. They weren't on my radar really.
I checked them out in like 2000 and I want to say about 2008. I checked them out. I heard the song "Pursuit of Vikings" and I was like, "Oh, I'm hooked."
It was for me. It was because obviously Rupa Lavate from or however you pronounce his last name, from Children of Bodom, did the solo on Twilight of the Thunder God, and I was like,
Oh, cool.
I love Children of Bodom.
Yeah, Children of Bodom. Cool. Oh, I
Yeah.
got all their CDs because Simon sold me all his CDs. Mr. Simon Can, Metal Brethren himself.
Mr. Can, the blooming marketplace record shop of Bristol, right?
Well, he's got a lot of CDs.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I always
He's
thought
got
I had a
more
big
than me.
collection, but wow, like
He's got more than me.
amazing collection.
Well, of course, I had him on here, which obviously I was like, "You need to get Simon," because I kept mentioning him in every single episode of this chat I have done. I've mentioned his name at least once.
He's certainly a pillar of the community.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, say in the video, "Oh, here's the man I've been saying his name pretty much all the bloody time. Here he is, Simon Can, aka Metal Brethren, on the Metal Brethren show," which is great. Which is, of course, it's great.
Yeah.
We watch it every time. We watch them every time.
I was late last time, but I still.
Oh yeah, the Twitch streams, yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good laugh. The banter in the chat is always quite fun.
We're always saying something random because there's one mate of mine on there. He's from the north, so I say Emil, my northern twin, because people have mistaken me and him for the other person because we look very similar. So he's a bit taller than I am, but still.
Does he have like a northern accent though? Is that
He's
how?
got a northern accent.
Right.
So people should actually pick up. Like, oh, he's on the north. I'm from the south. Never mind. This one guy was like, "Oh yeah, remember that gig, Emil?" I'm not Emil. I'm Jake.
Finn had that with Jeff, right? Like when you
Oh, Jeff, Mr.
that guy
Jeff.
was like, "Oh yeah, great set, Jeff," and you were like,
I'm not Jeff.
I'm not Jeff. I'm not Guff Badley. As he used to be called, Guff Badley. There's a lot of people we don't see in the metal scene anymore, obviously. There's quite a lot of people I don't see very much now.
Wow.
Well, we can't at the moment, but when we could still go to gigs, a lot of people I saw, like, prior to, like, well, let's say, like, when you played Bloodstock in 2017, didn't see many of them out and about.
I reckon with this situation, you're going to see a wide range of familiar faces that you haven't for a while. Like when things open up again, you might be surprised at who you'd run into. That's the way I'm going to look at it. I expect we'll see.
I think it's
people.
given us all like a lot of perspective, hasn't it, about how much we take for granted with stuff like that, experiences as they are. I always used to think that about, like, again, when I used to work at the cinema, about how like streaming has changed that whole experience of like going out like and watching a film, and how music, the live music has that same thing, right? About how much, myself included, we all get to that point where we're like, oh, we'll see that band the next time, or like you have a day, or you're just like, oh, I can't be bothered.
Yeah, I'll go see this band.
Yeah. But like, again, it makes you appreciate how much you do enjoy those experiences, and how lost we all are without.
We're all lost without gigs. I mean, they've been doing online gigs and everything. Saw a bunch of Devin Townsend's like online shows, and they were always fun to watch. And because he makes them fun without even trying to make it fun, he just makes it fun.
I do like the whole online gig experience, but it's like not the same.
No, not the same as actually being there and watching it.
Not to sound ungrateful about like it at all or anything, but it's just not got that same social experience.
No, because obviously you're there, you're being social with people when you're in, either you're just headbanging or you're in the pit. Because I watched the Lamb of God live stream that they did, and I was just like, I wish I was in the audience for that now. Just headbanging and singing all the songs and everything is like just
Yeah, they're quite like I'm glad that like Devon's had the right idea, like doing the kind of themed ones, doesn't he? Where they've
Oh
become
yeah,
a little bit more like
with this
because
Halloween.
I watched the Ingested one and it was like fantastic, and that because that had like a concept and a theme, and it had like a bit of a show thing running through it.
Hmm.
But like you say, it does. You sort of it's a little bittersweet, right? Because you get to the end and you're like, "Hmm, damn,
It's
where's
like,
that? You know, you get your hour show, but you don't get the like hour before of like Finn was saying about the whole social the discussion outside. You know, about like, oh, did you watch blah blah blah? It's like, oh yeah, they're really good, and
yeah. Like,
da 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 da. Or it's like, oh
what do you
hey,
think of this band? It's like, I thought they were alright. What do you think of that band? I thought they were not that good or whatever.
yeah. The full fueled discussion. Which is quite nice that we get that on those like live streams. So when we like listen to a band, people in the chat are like saying like, "Oh yeah, this band sounds like blah blah blah," or whatever.
This band's death metal, but they got a bit of a hardcore punk feel or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I've heard quite a few of those bands, and like Black Breath and Creeping Death, and all those death metal bands that
All
merge
the other
hardcore
deaths.
music. They just merge it in. It's like thinking, should this even work? And then you hear it's like, oh, it does work.
I love a bit genre blending.
Now on to the band. Where did the name come from? And who's the brainchild behind this? Finn,
Yeah, the first vocalist came up with the name.
the first vocalist.
Yeah.
He's the brainchild.
Well, but behind the name at least anyway. Musically though, I'd probably say a lot of the creative forces comes from me. Um, a lot of the a lot of all the parts really. I have a sort of hand in a lot of the different aspects that go into the songs. Basically from day one. Um, but it's as it's been getting on, it's been mm, it's starting to get a little bit different. Starting to get a bit more inputs from other members. So it's in some ways it's becoming more of a collective input instead of just being me. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
The
I don't know how to sort of say this without
okay,
sounding like a
so
prick.
I can like blow some smoke up your ass. It's okay. Someone else can do it. It's okay. Usually it like it'll be that Finn comes with like obviously a core chunk of a song. You know, it'll be like, oh, I've wrote this and like maybe this bit's missing, or I'm not happy with this bit. I want to do something, but like he'll come with like a full thing. We'll listen to it and be like, oh yeah, you know, really like this or this or this or whatever. And I know particularly with Palingenesis, because we were doing Les and Finn were able to bounce drum tracks to each other, and I know that they could like work on the drum ideas like quite a lot, you know, and more when we were doing like in the practice room stuff with like the initial batch of songs that we wrote for Palingenesis. You know, obviously me and Kieran could do a bit more like it's we never wanted to really record anything that we hadn't played between ourselves or and like discussed and got a feel for how you know the song's gonna evolve. So yeah, like Finn says, everyone has like their little inputs and stuff on it. It's not just like Finn writes a track and just slaps down and goes, okay, that's the way it is. You know, fuck you. That's how it is. I'm not changing it.
Fuck
You
you,
know,
my
so I
bad.
know you put your foot down where you have to though. If you're like, I really like this bit and it's not changing, like I want it that way and that's the way it's gonna sound. And obviously that's how what fuels our creative process to
Hmm.
the end product that we have now. Um, I'd like to think if you knew the four of us well, you'd be able to hear bits and pieces of our own inputs. Like
Yeah,
for
definitely.
it. You know, one thing I really want to do on like the next stuff is sort of record video a bit more of the creative process of ourselves talking about bits, or you know, so people
Yeah,
get a better understanding of how the songs do come to the way they are. You know, so again with Genesis, like when we stalled for a long time on how we were gonna put the songs together, didn't we? Really, like that's
Mm.
just being honest with everyone. We stalled for a long time, but we were in a bit of limbo about like, how are we gonna do this? Do we want real drums? Do we want like to do that? Do we want to have it a particular way or whatever? And when
I think
we Go on. Yeah. I'm rambling.
I was just going to say, because a lot of the time we would start writing, and then we got offered a bunch of gigs, and we kind of went like that. So it sort of seemed for a while it's kind of one or the other. We'd have big gig gaps, and I'd try to fill that with writing, and then the process would just kind of reset itself in that way. So, but I think once we had an initial sort of discussion about it, then things came a lot smoother. I was able to get a lot more stuff done, get more ideas out, because the once I got going with it, a lot of the songs came together like quite quickly. But yeah, just up until that point, it's just where we didn't know where we were going. It was difficult for my mind to focus on it, if you know what I mean.
We needed to demo a lot earlier than we did, basically, with that stuff, right? We did too much like playing songs at the practice room, being like, yeah, that's great, and then going off and playing a load of gigs, and coming back like a month later to that song, and then everyone being a bit like, what bit did we like? Did we want to do that bit or that bit? And when we started doing a bit more demoing together, the songs seemed to come together a lot faster. You know, and obviously, like I said, hopefully with the new stuff, I want to record a bit more of the creative process of doing it. There's a really hilarious clip from the Palingenesis stuff that I really need to post of when we were working on the Cradle of Filth part. It's just quite a funny one. There's one from the first album I wish we'd released as the squeaky chair. I really wish we'd had the squeaky chair. Or the drum.
I remember that squeaky chair, but I can't remember if I've still got that at all. What did I do with it?
That was a long time ago now.
It was.
It was a long time ago.
I think as we've got to know each other and our work styles a bit more as well, and talk about that and involve that as well, the creative process got a lot easier, because this is still my first project. You know, the first album I don't really count, because 5 of the songs were already wrote by the previous vocalist, and I just re-recorded his parts, and we swapped a few bits up, like, you know, I'll change how the vocals are here and here.
Awesome.
Messing up focus. And and then I wrote 3 of the songs, and you know, like one of them I did kind of rush because I was quite unsure of myself doing that whole process. But with the new one, even though it took me a lot longer, I got a better sense of what I wanted to do and my like strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The biggest thing was communication. I don't know if everyone else finds that, and it's not just in the band, is it? It's just in life, right? It's just reaching out to someone else and being like, oh, I need help on this, or this is what I've got. Can you look at it? Or it's just, you don't want to. I know, Finn, you can hard relate this. You don't want to show anyone until it's perfect, but it'll never be perfect if you don't show anyone. And like, art is never finished or perfect.
I think every band's like that. They don't want to show anything they're doing already until it's, you know, sounds just right to them.
But you'll never get there. You'll never get there without the help of other people. I just find it's real difficult. You know, I have big respect to solo projects because they're so difficult. But like, find within the band anyway, we need it. We need it. I know. It's really funny actually. I know that Killswitch Engage will talk about this on their like later stuff. That Jesse Leach wasn't sort of open up to Adam D about, oh, like I've got these bits, but I'm like not totally sure. And when I did that with Finn, it's suddenly like a door unlocked, wasn't it? And we could just do a lot more from there. Once we got the process started, it was like off. We were well off.
Yeah, and it shows both on record and on stage as well. Definitely, it works. You got that relationship, all 4 of you, and you got a great stage presence. Obviously, if you didn't have that, everyone would be like,
you gotta look like you're enjoying yourself, right?
You gotta enjoy, yeah, and you.
Because I am. Because I have. Like, if I wasn't, I
wouldn't. Come on, Bristol! Ah! We're like, no boost. And speaking of that, here's the first album. And obviously, my favorite track is The Beast. I don't know, it just popped out to me. It was like, and also you got the 8-bit track remix, which you always opened with. It's like
I just did that for fun one day, and then I was just like, But let's just stick it on there as well.
Yeah, because if anyone out there had seen these guys live before all this went to shit, they always had that playing first, and then they come in with the actual song afterwards.
Fun, right? Like
Mm.
I got a love-hate relationship with that song. Like I love it. It's great fun. I like. It's a song about my cat. I don't know how I necessarily feel about that. Like it's a death metal song about my cat, which is still funny to me. The whole premise of it.
It's about his cat.
But I've heard it a million billion gazillion times. But it's a fun. That whole song is quite funny actually, because like I remember you sending me like just that little. And it's like, yeah, this is too good. This is too good not to use. And,
Yeah,
I didn't actually write the chorus, the hooky chorus itself at all. I'd been writing and funnily enough, I actually bought some lyrics on the song back on the new album. But I was writing a song about Alien. I was writing a song about like a vicious like alien hunt. Like I was thinking mostly like the first film. You know, it's got that real like claustrophobic atmosphere in the ship, and it's like, oh, you're being hunted and something's chasing you. And I was like writing some sort of stuff like that, and then Les was like, why don't you just do like a stupid chorus like the beast is coming for you? And then I was like, well, my cat is called the Beast. Like maybe I could start running with this different angle about like it's from like this predator and prey thing. Like so yeah, that was probably the first song we really collaborated when it was just me, you, and Les, right? Like was it Beast was the first one we did? Or did we do Capture Vanity first? It might have been Capture Vanity.
It might have been that. I think it probably was that one actually, because I think we were all sat down for ages in back at Stage 2 studios in Bath. That's what I think it was. Yeah. Because I think I actually ended up finishing writing The Beast when I was staying with Les, because I was in between houses and my contract was like sort of 2 weeks apart or something like that. So I went and stayed with Les. I ended up finishing that one and I think at the time we were both like, yeah, this is really cheesy, but we are cheesy. So
that's the band dynamic though, right? We write a song, we go, oh my god, we can't release this. This is just
we can't release it.
Funny. This is just it's just too silly or too.
We can't release this.
Then we just can't stop coming back to it and being like,
whatever.
Well, we are.
It's a brutal song, so there you go.
Well, yeah, I love the kind of dichotomy of like we got these super brutal parts and we got these stupid parts like mixed in. That sounds
like super brutal with the stupid.
Well, there's one part on the new album which Les always passionately refers to as the pop punk part, right? And always like when he's playing it, you know, and it's
the pop punk part. Oh yeah, obviously first album. It's good.
That's it's Eternal Torment.
Eternal Torment.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's not.
But obviously,
yeah.
No, but then it's we got the classic Lars Ulrich special bit, which is so hilarious considering Les used to go on about that for ages, saying, "Oh, I don't like that, I don't like that," and I was like, "Oh, just do it here." And now every time he plays it, if you stare at him during Harvesting the Seeds of Vengeance when we can play again, he's always cracking a grin every time he plays it. Yeah, and it's amazing.
That's.
Les is funny.
You know, we're talking about like the creative process earlier, and we're talking about like being in a recording space. That's how we normally know that we're on to like a winner, or at least what we want to do, because like everyone's looking at each other and just like massive grin like this.
It's like
this is the magic, right?
I can just picture it now. Just all of you in the rehearsal studio, just like cracking a grin.
Literally, we've finished songs before, and like everyone's laughing, like no one's even really. Do you know what I mean? You stop playing on a bit or whatever. Sometimes we even do it. We'll be playing a song, and like someone will change a bit, like your turn, and Les is like just a bit where it's just like supposed to be a beat, and he's just like nailing it with a blast beat, or Finn will be there like doing like a squealy or playing it like much lower and like heavier or whatever, and we'll just have a funny appearance, like slapping our way.
Just picture all of you just in the rehearsal space, and I can just picture Kieran on his phone and looks up just like, yeah.
if anyone's ever in any of the other rooms when we're like playing at practice, they'll be like, "What the hell is wrong with that band?"
Like, on it, they'll all be like, "Wait, I know this band. We've seen them. What are they doing?" It's like, shh, it's a secret.
It's the secret jazz project we've got.
They're doing acoustic slam.
Yeah, a piano slam.
Yeah, piano slam.
Yeah.
That'll be funny. Well, we already got banjo slam with No One Gets Out Alive, so
yeah. Banjo black metal with Tark. Yeah, you're saying about like the first album, really. If we like if we wanted to like touch on that, that was really like that was the first time where we worked together. Like the 3 songs we did, Carcass, The Beast, and Capture Vanity, were the ones that we wrote together beforehand, and then like Somnus, Infested, Indoctrination, Bazinga, and
Voices.
Oh my god. Are the ones where originally they'd been done with Mike, the first vocalist, and we re-recorded. He had like a really cool hardcore like tone to his voice. It's just like for the direction the band started to move in, it just
go more death metal.
well, it was. I don't know if the band was going more death metal, but like Mike's circumstances changed, and then I started doing some vocals, and then we started moving towards like.
So when did you join the band? When did Mike leave?
2014, I want to say.
Yeah, because the album was 2015, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. We did all of that down. Well, I did all my parts. Portsmouth, was it? We did that at that
Salisbury.
That's it, Salisbury.
Salisbury.
In the youth centre, down the basement of the youth centre.
Yeah.
I remember we walked in and they were doing that. They were setting up for that sex ed demonstration. Those dildos.
Did they have dildos, or was it like bananas and?
Yeah, I was saying it was so. And I remember we just walked in like, see you later. Like,
yeah, because the guy the guy who ran the studio was actually a guy I went to college with. He's got his own sort of studio now down in Salisbury, but yeah, he's good. He's good fun to work with. He can give you really good ideas, and he
was great laugh to work with. Like he was the right balance of like serious to get us to push us. Particularly me, I needed to be pushed to do performance more because obviously it was my first time and like timing was the big issue for me. But like enough of a laugh that we could enjoy ourselves, and because it is supposed to be an enjoyable process, right? I always remember our trips over to the baguette shop to get our baguettes.
Yeah.
Well, did we have to carry a cooker or something at one point? I don't know. Didn't we have a dehumidifier or something down those big steps? All right,
I can't remember.
Yeah, I just get these flashes of the memory. And we did. Well, I didn't. Maybe Finn can talk about the drum. Doing the drums.
Yeah, well, same guy for the first one. Well, actually, for the first album, I recorded the drums. We were up at Shockwick Studio. Was it Les and I ended up staying with Les for a week. Sort of getting in there at sort of, I can't remember, 8 a.m. or something like that. We had someone else come in and help engineer it on the first day, and then kind of just like left it with me. I think we had like a couple of project crashes, so we ended up having to do tracks again. And then I copied all of it over to my hard drive to take them back and work on them. And I think it got I think it got format corrupted or something like that, so I had to go over there again and do it again and come back. I think but we on the way there every day we were listening to the End of Heartache by Killswitch Engage. We just listened to that entire album like basically every day, and yeah, so that's one of my memories.
It was a really fun experience. We've always thought, looking back, personally I've always thought we probably should have just done the 3 songs that we wrote And
Yeah.
I mean, hindsight's a bitch, right? Like, you know, you can look back and but that experience was it was quite special because that was my first project. It was the first time we worked together, and and I suppose that leads us on to what we did after that.
What you did after that, yeah. But before we get to that, the album that came out, and I want to ask this before getting on to that: were you guys in any other bands before that, or?
I used to do sort of battle of the bands back at school. Funny enough, with Kieran, because we went to school together. But it was never anything sort of serious, really. So being bands,
I mean,
yes. Were they serious? No.
You could outside of bands, but you could say obviously you've released loads of music.
Well, yeah, I've been writing music for a long time. I've done YouTube channels for a long time. Well, I've done my YouTube channel for a long time.
Check out
so, yeah.
MM1066 on YouTube.
Or just search my name. my channel is my name now because
Yeah, that's what my channel is. It's just my name.
Yeah,
it's easy to find.
But trying to get back into that. I mean, I don't really sort of write as much music just for myself anymore. I think sometimes I try to, but I think they just end up being stuff for the band. But yeah, I've written a lot of music myself, but it not really works with other people, which was a bit hard for me in the first place, because obviously I'm used to doing everything kind of by myself. So it's a bit of a change that took a lot of adapting to, or it took a lot of thinking about and working on. But I've got no problem now. It's better than it has been before now, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Now to get on to before we get to the new album, came out last year, but still, you did dragged into hell, obviously, which is absolutely banging. I'm gonna say it. Like, dragged into hell. Poof.
Yeah, I love that one.
Maybe not punch in the face.
Yeah, so that one
Yeah.
we didn't actually plan to release as a single. We were writing for Palingenesis, and we did Bloodstock, and then we were like, oh, we really need to release something.
That's 2017. The winners of that one in Bristol, which I mentioned on my podcast that I did.
Yeah.
Thanks for including us. Yeah,
your headbanger list was cool.
Probably
man.
said the new album a different way because Simon says the album different way.
He said Simon says palingenesis, and you say palingenesis.
I think I said that as well because I was thinking because I tried saying it the way you said it and then I couldn't say it. I was like, "Fuck."
It is Genesis, isn't it?
Genesis.
I believe when I looked up how to say it when we were looking for fancy pretentious science words for our album.
Basically.
That was
probably say it the right way next time.
I would Microsoft slam it and let's just see.
So I have the most embarrassing one where when I met the vocalist from Sixth, my friend had always said Sixth. He's always said, oh yeah, Sixth, Sixth. Then I met him and I was like, oh, is there any chance of a Sixth reunion before it? And he was like, what the hell is that? And I was like, the band that you were in, and the person with him was like, I think he means Sixth, and I died of embarrassment right there.
Yeah, it happened. I was just saying the way Simon said it because I was trying to say how you said it, and then I said it the right way, and I was thinking I'm just going to mess it up on the podcast. I'll just say it that way, and hopefully no one tells me differently. But obviously it's I'll just show it, and here it is. Look at it. It's fucking brutal. And that's the new logo.
It is. It is.
Oh yeah.
And,
but God, I wish we had like a little dragged into hell thing.
Very
something.
Book.
Yeah, the artwork Pete did for Dragged into Hell was just really, really cool. I really like that. Yeah, you've obviously you've seen the shirt. I think you were.
You've got the shirt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so Pete actually look at the front of that. You can see Pete himself drew himself into the artwork. He's one of the people being dragged into hell, which was quite funny.
That's
But
brilliant.
yeah, so that song was never that was supposed to be one of the songs on Palingenesis, but
Genesis.
we just really liked it, and we wanted to kind of show people that it been like 3 years since we released the album. We kind of wanted to be like, right, this is a bit more the prequel basically to Palingenesis, right? That was supposed to be like a little taster, like, oh, this is kind of what it's gonna sound like.
Yeah, definitely. And
Um,
artwork in the book, lyrics, and of course the song that I played on the
Finn, you talk
podcast
about that one.
was Tyrant, which you released as a single before the album.
Yeah, almost. It's gonna be
Almost a year.
It's gonna be a week next week.
Is it really?
Yeah, 7 days
Wow.
today, 28th of
Wow.
February. We released that.
That's mental. And well, speaking of this album, because Herbicidal released our debut before you brought this out.
Yeah, man,
That's
that's
great.
yeah, that's really cool album, man. I really liked what I really liked about the Herbicidal album was like the kind of again. Then this is you can tell I really like these kind of like weird style meshes, but I really like the kind of Sabbathy clean vocal sections
Yeah, he
mixed
said
with the death
Black
metal and
Sabbath meets death metal.
yeah, it totally is. It totally is, man. That's really cool because
That's
like
what
too many of those doom bands either just sound like a doom death metal band that you've heard a lot of time before, or just sound like a Sabbath clone, you know. And
Yeah, we
you
just mixed the
just mix of the
styles up.
styles.
One sounded like just like stoner doom, and one sounded a bit more death stoner, like death doom or whatever. Obviously, you got the clean vocals because that's Leon doing the clean vocals, and we did. Well, technically, we did 2 gigs. We did. We all know Millie, Madam Beryl of BTK. It was the 30th in 2019 that year, and it was Ollie, Leon, and the first drummer who was in Herbicidal. He wasn't on the album. Just thought, play music, have a barbecue, whatever. And I was like, oh, I can do some vocals. Like, oh, here you go. And all of a sudden, it's like, yeah, let's just bring him in.
Mate, preaching to the choir is exactly it.
That's how that's happened with you as well.
Yeah, exactly the same. I was just an outsider. So a bit of context. My girlfriend Sarah lived with Finn when he were going to uni, and she was, oh yeah, you know, my housemate's in a band. You should check this out. And
That was awesome.
to be honest with you, when people normally say that, like, oh, I've got my mate's in a band, or oh, you check this out, I was like, oh my god, like, what is this gonna be? Like, I just like, it's probably gonna be some crap. And I listened to it, I was like, oh wow, holy crap, like the song's really cool, and I really liked them. I was listening to them a lot. I listened to the first Embodiment demos, and Aurelius, they had that demo CD that was in the booklet. Oh god, what was it called? Color? Was it called? No, I can't remember. But Aurelius had that it was just in a plastic sleeve wallet, and I just used to listen to that and Embodiment just all the time when I was driving around. And Sarah heard me singing along, and then I was just like Finn said, I was like, one day we're at a gig or whatever, and it's like, oh, sounds cool, but obviously sneaky Sarah had already shown you recorded secret clips, and you'd heard.
Yeah, she did.
But yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how that happens.
It's like, want to be in a band? It's like, yeah, sure, cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, I was like, yes, like, I suppose
I want to be in your band.
It's do you know, it's like, I think Les talked about this, didn't he? He's talking about it's easier to meet the right people and train them up in skill level and like your work and relationship than it is to find someone who's like really really good straight away, but like their personality doesn't gel, or like their working style is difficult. I know I'm a difficult.
It does get difficult.
But yeah, you know, it's he's totally right on that regard, isn't he? You know.
Yeah, they're all bands that had members that they didn't get on with, and they left, and they found members who they actually got on with. So it's like,
yeah, it does surprise me when I see like these huge bands and they're like, oh yeah, none of us like each other, and it's like,
I think I got that with, well, when Cannibal Corpse played Motion in 2018, I think, yeah, it was, and someone asked Pat about, you know, obviously Pat's not in the band anymore, but then he was. He says, oh, do you guys just hang out and talk? And Pat says, oh, me and Corpse Grinder don't talk. And I was like really surprised when I heard that.
yeah, I've heard that from a few like well-established bands, or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, like the members don't talk at all. Like, oh no, we're not.
Which I find really
I can understand, like,
really
maybe not
disheartening.
best friends, but like
That's what I find disheartening. Is like you're in a band and you don't get on. What the fuck?
that's that lifted curtain of illusion, right? That
Is
don't
it,
look
yeah, you
behind
think,
the
oh yeah,
curtain.
we
You
all
don't
get on.
need
All of
to,
a sudden,
yeah,
you
yeah,
see it in
yeah.
real
You don't.
life.
That's that sort of thing, isn't it? Like once you've looked behind it, you can't unsee it.
But obviously, that's different with you guys because you're all great.
No,
fun.
I hate
You all
him.
hang
I
out.
hate. No, I hate all other members.
Yeah, they're all cunts. I'm joking.
Particularly that vocalist.
Mm.
Les doing some Lars Ulrich stuff. Come on, man.
Les used to be in a funk band. Like we're talking
Yeah.
about Tom, who did the vocals with us. Tom and Les used to be in a band. It was like
It's
electro.
like electro, funk, ska influence in certain bits, wasn't it? It's all sorts of
Quite
stuff.
different. Quite different to what Embodiment do, obviously.
That's very different.
I think that's what helps him like write such good parts. Is that he's
Yeah,
an
definitely.
open-minded dude. You know what I mean? He's not like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna write a part that sounds like my favorite drummer. Like I'm just gonna write a part that.
I'm gonna write my own
I
stuff.
mean, you get those bits. I mean, he tells me sometimes like this is a fucking totally just a Mike Portnoy bit, and he's like, I've just kind of like stolen it and used it. But I mean, that's what we all do, right? Influence. Remember that, guys. It's influence.
Influence people. And well, see, you guys have been playing for, God, I don't know how many years now. I've pretty much lost count. But you've played with so many different bands, from local bands to very big bands, and you guys did support Suffocation. How was that?
Oh, that was
Yeah, it was Separation was on that bill as well. Now Bristol
Yeah,
band.
it's on the back. Oh yeah, it's a professional, great band. And Democritus were, who I believe you're wearing the shirt of.
Yes, I
Yeah,
am.
I thought that was
Yeah.
Democritus.
Yeah, because Steve talked about that same gig.
That was such a good gig. Like, not just in terms of all the bands who played, who were great and everything, but like, I remember that was a great night, social night as well, wasn't it? Democritus were on the bill. It's the first time. I think it's the first time. No, second time we've seen Separation. I think. I'd seen him at Beer Killer years before with Morbid Angel and Amputated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a Covenant tour. But yeah,
Covenant.
and
Show, yeah.
Suffocation were just like, we were so, or at least I was like a little intimidated to be playing like with such a well-established band or whatever. They were completely warming and welcoming and just
welcoming.
were ready to just play a show with us. And yeah, and we'd just come off obviously we'd just come off the Bloodstock hype as well, right? So we were really, I remember I wore I think this shirt and some jeans, actually long sleeve shirt and jeans, and really regretted that decision because it was boiling hot. That's one thing I really.
That's why you always wear shorts on stage now.
It's also like the first time I really drank beer and properly enjoyed it, because before that I was adamant. I was like, yeah, I don't really like beer. I'm a cider and vodka man. I remember our backstage was only beer, and I was like, right, I'm not paying for a drink when we have free drinks. I'm going to drink this.
Yeah, you just.
I was like, oh, this is okay actually.
Problem with that for me is I think I ended up having a bit too much. It didn't like affect my playing too bad, but I did start to get a really, really bad migraine as soon as we went on stage, and like every time I was headbanging, I was just like, oh, this really hurts, but I gotta keep going because it's part of the show.
But yeah, me and Simon couldn't go to that because we were at Beer Mageddon that same weekend. That's why we couldn't go. I was just like, crap.
Go ahead, but Beer Mageddon was cool. Yeah.
But Beer Mageddon's cool. I think you guys would suit the bill.
Yeah, I think I did apply one year, but it was before Palingenesis had come out, and I think like now that we've got the reputation of playing good shows and a solid album, like I think we're a bit more of a better product to sell, if you know what I mean, without sounding so corporate. But
yeah, true.
We're a better fit for bills now because we're a bit more well established than we were before. Yeah, I suppose we've not really spoken about Palingenesis.
Yeah.
Touching on the recording process.
Yeah, the recording process. How long did everything take on this album? Ooh, quiet.
Well,
An hour spent or time like
Well, time spent,
elapsed of
like hours
I,
of. Um,
hmm, it depends really. If you include when we first started writing for stuff, or when we just actually put our feet in gear and actually went for it. Um, I'd say we spent at least like the best part of a year recording a load of the songs once we had them in a good place in terms of like getting everyone else involved. Um,
we did have a stall, didn't we? We had like a stall for about a year, well, maybe less than that, where people were moving, stuff was happening.
mm,
We just didn't really touch the songs too much. There's a period where Kieran was playing with Valis Blaze for a bit as well.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, if you, um,
yeah, I remember
and you know, we were all not really. I remember we didn't really play shows that much, did we? When I think that was 2016. We had that. Oh, sorry, I hear that dog outside. That's a bit.
that.
Um, but uh, but yeah. Sorry, 1 second. I'll close my window, because that will be incredibly annoying. Otherwise, there we go. Sorry, I was saying about yeah, oh yeah, when we had that slower period, yeah, and then time spent. I mean, again, I'll put my hands. I took ages to do what I wanted to do because I couldn't quite decide, and I think that was the thing. We didn't really know what we were doing, did we? We had some like good tunes, but we hadn't really discussed like album art or anything like that properly, had we? And I think once we had,
mm,
I think that the final moments were once we had the album art, and it was like, yeah, okay, Pete did a great job, and there was a clear vision with that. Like, we didn't rip off Holy Diver, I promise. And then once the video started to come together, I think that was helped push us along, didn't it? Really, because uh, everyone should go and check out the Tyrant video. He did a
Check out Tyrant.
fantastic job. Yeah, he did a fantastic job. And I forgot our good friend Anthony, and once he'd started to come with like some ideas, and that helped me think about the concept for the album. I don't know. It probably took what, like 3 years, I want to say, of like 2.5 years. Ideas
I
floated
can't
around
remember.
for
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
like 4 years, but like real work and discussion about it probably like 2 and a bit years. While we underestimated how much planning goes into it.
Of course,
Mm.
there's a lot of planning goes into an album.
Yeah, wow, and what a different experience it was, because when we released the first album, we just kind of I think we did a song a day for a week, didn't we, or something like that. We were just like, oh, there's a new song every day, like thinking that people would care about a new song every day. Um, you know, and then with this one, there was like so much to plan out. Like, we're gonna release the video then, and we're gonna release the album then, and we tried getting PR. Like, we struggled for quite a while to sort of nail down what we were gonna do with PR. And I ended up handling like all the PR duties outside of. We did work with um,
Nick from
well,
Pete from
yeah,
the
Nick,
Pit.
what was it? Pete from the Pit.
Mm.
I can remember the name. Something Pit. But yeah, we worked with Nick from Pete from the Pit, and he did our like radio, for lack of a better word, coverage. Which we did. We hit. Yeah, he did a great job. But I think within our niche, right, of death metal, there's not that much radio coverage as
Not
you'd like
really,
to.
no.
No. But yeah. And then I handled the PR. I spent too many nights on Google. Basically, just went on Google and I searched metal blogs, metal reviewers. Went on YouTube, did the same, and just clicked on every single blog and every single reviewer I could find. The hardest part for a lot of them was just finding some bloody contact information. Jesus Christ! If you are a magazine or you are a reviewer, I would have thought contact information would be
You have
front and center. But wow, no, it's really
address
not.
where you can send.
But what we tried to do, because we knew we weren't necessarily gonna hit. Well, we did actually end up, but yeah, we didn't think we were going to hit stuff like Metal Injection, Metal Sucks, or, Metal Hammer, like the big publications. We thought, you got to spend money, right, to get into those. That's just the
Pretty
reality of
much,
it. You got, you got to be in that, or you got to be in that circle. You got to have the right people, or you got to spend the right money. And I tried to hit up like lots of the smaller blogs. I just hours and hours and hours on Google. I think I sent like 300 promotional emails or near on in the end to various places. Yeah, it was a real learning experience. And merch as well. Finn did like loads of Finn does a lot of the design. Like Pete, does the drawing, but Finn works with Pete to, and you did that with you were showing off the lyric booklet and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible artwork. I have to.
Well, we wanted to put in the time on every aspect, right? Like, it wasn't just like, oh, here's our album. We wrote the lyrics and walked away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
CD, you got the
CD is.
It's got like the.
It's got the cut off from the artwork itself.
Yeah, and like even.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
There
we
we
try
are.
to get all those small details, right? Like if you own a physical
There's
product, you want it to be.
That.
You want it to look cool. You want it to feel nice. Like
It is cool.
You were set right from day one, weren't you? Like they have to be digipacks and they have to like look. And Cram Duplication were great, real great to work with. They were very.
Yeah, I think digipacks are just. I just think I prefer the look of them. I think they're a lot more polished. They're
just a bit more. But you just have.
I could say like better environmentally.
I think they are because we recycle them, right? So.
Yeah. And like jewel cases do tend to take a bit of beating up. Really, they're quite easy to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's better?
Look at the blooming difference in quality. Like if you hold them up, you can basically see like the change we went through from 2015 to 2020, right? In terms of our level of seriousness and work ethic.
On the old logo to the new one. Old, new, old.
Even
new.
that artwork.
Old, new. Sorry.
That's the old logo. No, is that
This
different?
one is.
Yeah.
No, that's the old one.
That's the old.
That was the very
This
first.
is new.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, I know. I just forgot another one.
No, that's not the old logo, though, is it? The Blade font logo.
Oh, that was.
You know that same font.
Logos. I think that's the only two logos I've ever known. So.
Yeah, it was pre any merchandise existing or anything, wasn't it? I don't think it even made it to a poster.
So again, old.
I thought.
No!
Or did it not? I thought, didn't it? With the Thieves by the Code one?
Fuck knows.
Oh yeah.
That was one with the Cambion.
Yeah.
Cambion, Ocon,
Oh, there's a many Ocart posters.
Ocart.
Yeah.
Very good friends with Ocart.
When we first started out, that was the band we played a lot of shows with and got to know, and it was nice to have some friends.
Mr. Michael Perk, of course.
Yeah, desperately miss all of those guys, and always whenever I see anyone from Ocart, I always make sure to go and always go and have a chat or catch up. Yeah, love those guys. Love those guys.
Great
They were great. It was really fun, wasn't it? We were both kind of upcoming bands and at the same sort of level at that point.
Great, definitely great.
I desperately miss watching them as well. I hope.
I miss watching them as well.
Something happens there.
Well, let's see what happens. I want to touch on the Bloodstock 2017 set because that tent was fucking rammed. I was like, as soon as you played the first song, I was already headbanging at the fucking barrier. Just like,
I remember seeing you, man.
I was like, and
that was
the mosh pits and the wall deaths and everything. It's just like, you guys were literally like, not to praise you even more, but fuck it, I'm gonna do it. You guys were on fucking fire.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was.
And of course, I filmed the last song because I thought, fuck it, get my GoPro out. And
Yeah, it was definitely a good experience for us. It's just compared to usual gigs where you get like 15 minutes to set up, you got to do it by yourself, etc. Just the team they had all behind that was really good.
team behind Bloodstock is amazing.
Yeah, everyone we worked with there on the festival when we played was fucking brilliant and spot on. Everyone was welcoming and clear about where to go, what to do, helping us set up. Yeah, it was just a great show. I was obviously really excited for it and very nervous and stepping out and it's funny actually, when we first stepped out it was probably a quarter full, a third full, you know what I mean? And then we really got into it and
All
then
of a sudden, I
there was
just turn around and there's
yeah,
it's completely packed.
it was packed. Yeah, it was packed. I think the limit of the tent is like 900 to 1,000 or something.
It was mental.
The security told us afterwards they were getting close to, like it being full.
Yeah, it was absolutely
We
mental.
gave away like 200 CDs as well at the end as well, just going
Oh,
around giving them to people and stuff, not throwing them. As I was like, oh yeah, we'll just go there with throw CDs. People were like, you're gonna hit people in the face, it's probably gonna hurt. I was like, oh yeah, maybe
It's a jewel
maybe
case,
don't
damn it.
throw them,
Like, yeah, in jewel case, don't throw it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we gave them to all the security guards in like, I think we just had them in bin bags, didn't we? And we're like, oh, just literally just pass them to people and just say, oh, I take one, pass it on, or whatever.
Take one, pass it.
Yeah, and what I was real worried that there'd just be a big pile of Embodiment CDs like left around the floors and stuff, and I was like, oh god, because obviously it's environmentally bad. It's bad for the festival and everything. But I didn't see any. There are still people who comment every now and then on YouTube and Facebook, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I got a free CD at Bloodstock," and I remember, whatever. And that was. I'd love to go back and play again.
I'd love to see you guys play there again.
Well, Motorhead did the Sophie stage, and
yeah, they did the Sophie stage, and
that was inspirational to us. Like we watched that, and we thought, hell yeah, they did it. We want to do it, and I'm hoping one day, when we do look at a sense of normality back and festivals, that's a show that would really be a milestone show for us. I love watching.
I'd love to see you guys on the Sophie stage.
I love watching the bands jump up as well. Like Cambium was another one where I'd seen them play. I think I'd seen them play all three. Cambium
played on the main stage one year.
Yeah, man, I did.
Bloodshot Dawn did the same. They played on the main stage.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that the defining one for me is always Bloodshot Dawn.
Yeah, that was
that main stage.
Cracking set.
It was incredible. It really was. It was unbelievable to see a band that I'd seen at like Finn's, back in Weymouth, or I'd seen like the Griffin, and there they are, like playing up on the main stage, opening up and killing it as well.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember as well. Like 1 year before going to Bloodstock, it might have been 2014 or something, or 2013. Can't remember which, but. Me and a couple of mates of mine went to the Griffin, and Bloodshot Dawn were doing a show there like the day before Bloodstock. So I was like, cool, do that. And also to note, on Bloodstock 2017, we were literally camped on the same patch of field. So I was just like, let's go say hello. All guys.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't.
Yeah, I was about to say we got offered camping, but I didn't take it. But some of us.
Yeah, I did. me, Les, and Kieran did, but we'd always meet up during the days and.
Yeah, that's why I saw you guys there all the time.
That was a great lineup as well. Funny enough.
There we go. Who's playing that? Yeah, there you are. If you can see it, Embodiment.
Yeah, 12 till 12:30.
Yeah,
and they have embodiments, I think.
No, not yet.
Not yet. They don't have embodiments or
deodorant. In the embodiments, that's our ace in the whole merch product.
What about embodiment? Sorry.
Just as many pun-based merch items as possible, right?
I'm sorry. I think Simon's stuff.
Fair enough on you. Yeah,
It's
he's
coming off on me. When he said
I did think
embodiment,
about maybe even doing a T-shirt like embodiments, and it's like a mint, but like like the demon design that we've used, like it's like horns on this mint, and it's like like a big thing.
that'd be
Yeah,
Some like 80s slogan or something like that about the
you got like
mint.
taste the freshness, but in like death metal font,
Taste the
like
freshness.
yeah, that'd be quite funny. Yeah, and that's just indicative of the type of band we are, right?
I got a question for you. Mert. All right, yeah, cool. Cheers.
I just thought it'd be
Weirdo.
such a good item to have on the merch table. But like, oh, what's that? It's just a little tin of embodiments.
Embodiments. We may see those in the future. And speaking of merch, if people want to find your stuff, and I do recommend that they pick up, of course, the new album. I'll show it again properly.
Oh yeah.
Where
boy.
will they be able to find, CDs, T-shirts, patches, and whatever else you might have on sale now?
Well, we have it on our Bandcamp page, which is embodimentofficial.bandcamp.com. We list it all on Facebook as well. We've got all our links together. Yeah, let me just get it up. Actually, let's see what we actually got.
Well, I think it's the first time a member of a band actually looked up on their Bandcamp.
Well, I should know really because I am in charge of all the inventory.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
embodimentofficial.bandcamp.com.
You'll find that on their Bandcamp.
URL. But if you just search embodiment band
Yeah.
Bandcamp or whatever,
Come
you,
up.
you should find it. I know there is another embodiment, but as far as we're aware, they are mostly inactive or don't. I don't know. They're in a US based band. When we formed, they were inactive. They seem on and off active. But anyway, if you search embodiment official,
I
Bandcamp will be there.
put it all in the description below so people can find it that way.
Yeah, just on the embodiment Bandcamp. That's all
On
there. And we
Bandcamp,
have got in
you will find
March.
that.
We'll be dropping more merch. We were supposed to drop more last year, but
You got
PayPal
a lot of
fucked us over.
T-shirts, shorts.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
Shorts. Got some shorts. Because some bands with these fucking jogging bottoms as well. It's like,
yeah, I got my Black Dahlia ones.
Yeah. Just note, Harry is a big Black Dahlia Murder fan.
The biggest. Well, no, actually. Oh my god, I joined the fan club, and I'm just a casual.
This is like go in. It's like, I don't know if we're gonna like this band. Oh shit, I'm in it for life now.
Yeah. And speaking of which, there's another one of our favourite shows. Obviously, playing my.
Oh yeah, you play with Black Dahlia Murder, and obviously,
yes, I know.
I'm not gonna ask how that was because you probably had a blast.
Yeah. Obviously, it was like dream come true, right? That's like my favorite.
You're probably just like, oh my god.
Well, I don't want to be too much like that, Like I play in a cool.
Probably.
Actually, he approached us, didn't he, Finn? He was
Yeah. We came in and he was sort of friendly straight away and much taller guy than you think he is. I didn't imagine him to be as big as he was. That's what I remember.
Yeah, I spoke to. Yeah, we're talking about Trevor, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember seeing Black Dahlia Murder at the Cannibal Corpse show, and I was wearing my beheaded long sleeve. And as soon as he saw it, he said, "Oh, beheaded, man, that's cool." I was like,
Trev's knowledge of death metal.
He loves his death metal.
It's absolutely insane. I mean, a lot of people kind of shit on Black Dahlia Murder for being like one of the bigger death metal bands or young or whatever. Even though now they've been around for like 20.
A long time.
I don't know. They've been around for a while now, like 15 years. Got to be.
Yeah, because I didn't get into them straight away, and then gradually I got into them.
Yeah, but like for his knowledge of you ever read his like obituarist columns or shit like that is just outrageous. He was again, there's such a friendly bunch of guys to hang around with. We were outside with.
He was the only one I chatted to, so he was really cool.
We were outside with the drummer after we played for ages. He's actually blasting out jazz music on his phone at us all night, which was quite amusing. And didn't you show Brian a picture of Spyro, and he just had no idea who that was.
Did I?
Yeah, I
Oh.
think he tried to
You
make.
know, Spyro was.
He just tried to make something up off his head. He's like, oh yeah, that's Quaslaw, like leader
Yeah,
of the
then I was like,
dragons.
yeah, you're dead to me.
That to me.
Not the most defining moment of the evening, though, Ethan. When
No.
you
Yeah.
slapped Trevor on his bare ass in the cheek.
You that to me.
Yeah. I don't know where it came. I don't know where it came from. Honestly, I think the alcohol a bit too much.
Alcohol took over.
I mean, he did say, "Look up my ass." Like he did.
Yeah, he did.
Right. Okay. I'm not going to do
Yeah.
that.
That was great, and we've been so blessed to play with like so
Yeah.
many great bands in Bristol.
And yeah, that's no. Yeah, because obviously, yeah, you play with Suffocation, Black Dahlia Murder, Car Bomb, which was a great show.
Faceless,
Faceless.
the Algorithm.
All these fucking bands.
The Algorithm was like such a fun one to be on because obviously the Algorithm is like an electro kind of. I don't know if you've heard them. They're kind of like dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
heard bits in passing, but I mainly stick with my death metal. So
yeah, well, obviously we were a death metal band on like a bloody electro show, so that was
okay.
But they've got like tech metal elements, so we didn't totally stand out like a sore thumb. We played weirder bills, right? About the time we played with the punk bands at Louisiana.
Yeah.
We were headlining and we started playing and the room just emptied like immediately. Oh dear.
Fuck's sake. And I might as well ask this one. I know we don't know when gigs are going to happen yet, but is there any bands either as a whole band that you would like to play with, or your own personal favourites you like to play with? Either ones you played with already, or ones you haven't played with. I mean,
there's one band I'd like absolutely love to play, but I don't think we'd be appropriate. Killswitch Engage. I'd love to be on a
So
spot.
Revocation.
Yeah, they landed that, didn't they?
They're like techie death metal stuff, aren't they? So yeah, I was gonna say, I was thinking the whole time Jake was asking that, it's probably as a band, it's probably Killswitch Engage, right? Or maybe like Lamb of God. Like I know
Lamb of God.
we'll love Lamb of God. That would be a great show. I think like personally, I mean, obviously it would have been Black Dahlia Murder, but we've done that. I think like Gojira is
Gojira, I can definitely see that.
Gojira, just like I think one of the best like modern metal bands. You know, really.
Yeah, they're
tearing up almost when I was watching them at Bloodstock. Just
oh man, yeah. The headline set Bloodstock. Fucking hell.
Slowly watch them climb the bill over the years, you know, and then that headline set was.
Yeah, the first time I saw Gojira was Bloodstock 2010. It's the first time I saw him, and obviously I got into them before seeing them live. I got into them in 2009, and I saw them that year, and then.
Yeah, I saw him Sonosphere 2011.
Oh yeah, I saw them that year.
Yeah, playing in the tent, right? And
yeah, in the tent it was packed.
Yeah, we didn't actually get in the tent.
We couldn't get. No, me and my mate Chris and 3 other mates of ours. We couldn't get in, but it was only me and my mate Chris headbanging. The others were like, I don't know what to think.
Well, we managed to get quite a good spot. We were like just in enough that you could hear the music well enough that it wasn't too quiet, but
we couldn't get
in a little bit. But yeah, I remember because Mars Volta were on, and I remember walking past and the dude was like boiling a kettle on the stage or something. Real strange stuff. Don't want to say about that. But yeah, fucking Gojira, man, fantastic.
Well, I can see you playing with Gojira, maybe. I'm trying to think of who else, like Meshuggah. I think you guys would suit.
That would be be a great show. I think my brain could take watching Meshuggah every night on tour.
I'm just trying to think of bands you would go on tour with, like maybe like Rivers of Nile and.
We're in that fortunate position where we're not like super brutal, where like, you know, we'd only fit with like slam and brutal death bands.
Yeah, you can fit with any band.
But yeah, we could play with someone like Killswitch, and it wouldn't be too like, you know. Although we didn't get the support slot with Dragon Force because we were too heavy, because we were supposed to support Dragon Force, and we had it all lined up, and it was out there, but I can't remember who exactly didn't want us there, but someone was like, no, this is too heavy and it's going to scare away power metal fans. I know, I see it, yeah. And
That's why I'm doing that, and just like
Silosis supported all that
say
remains.
what?
Do you know what I mean? And
It's
like
like
they're
this is heavier
as
than
heavy as we are, or
heavy as
like
they are. Yeah,
all that remains did it as
it's
well.
like, oh,
And
we're
then,
not
like,
gonna have this band, but we'll have Silosis. What the fuck?
I don't know. I just it would have been cool.
Nothing wrong with Silosis. I don't
I
mind. I don't mind
love Dragon
Silosis.
Force.
But obviously, more me is more of the death metal.
I just wanted to get up there with like the big hair and like the armor and a sword or something like Dragon Force style.
Yeah, just give a bit more extra shred as well to sort of match Herman Lee.
Yeah, they do a lot of shredding in that band.
Yeah.
Lots.
I just remember seeing him at the Thekla, and they were sort of taking a piss, obviously. And I think the vocalist said something to Herman, and then Herman was just like, "It's okay if I mess up. I just fake it anyways." Just crack me up.
Yeah. That's what you said about it. I just fake it anyway.
I just fake it.
He's a fun dude, and he does lots of like Twitch stuff.
Yeah, I've done that on stage with the Herbicidal gig. I did at the Griffin in October in 2019. I remember what the lyrics were for the last song, Vapor Slave, but I was just like, what the bloody lyrics? So I said "Dead Upon the Altar" instead.
At the Metal to the Masses, when we won, I got the name of one of the songs wrong. I was like, "Oh, this one's Infested," and then we started playing another song, and then afterwards I had to be like, "No, this one is Infested." I was like, "I was just testing you all to see if you knew it," and
It happens though.
yeah,
Mess up lyrics or mess up.
Well, we talked about Devin Townsend. He's got the best ones because the amount of times, because I've seen Devin like good like 15 times or whatever now. And the amount of times he's playing, and he'll just be like da da da, and I can't remember the bloody words, la 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 la, and he'll just sing his way through it. Like, I think that's the graceful way to take mistakes on stage, right?
Yeah.
It's like, just take
you
the
can
L.
just
Like,
mess up. You can just say completely different words. The name of his songs. Like if you did Lucky Animal, you probably say, "I don't know what next."
Yeah, I think it was
know
Life.
who you are.
I don't know the fucking words.
You're
It's
like
like
this.
quite funny.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've all. I fell over when we played with Ingested. Right, I fell
Oh,
into the
Ingested.
fucking
Yeah, no, great band, and they played Bloodstock as well. The
yeah,
Sofa
fucking
Beach.
they killed it, man.
Yeah, because Body Harvest won the year after you did, and I was like, so just seeing, because Craniation played Bloodstock as well. That's Millie's old band, and I was like, oh, now Bristol band, Embodiment, yeah. And then we had a barbecue at Simon's house to celebrate.
Yeah, that was great.
We did, yeah.
I went to the Metal to the Masses, then I went to Obscene Extreme, and a week after that or so, a couple of
One
weeks.
festival I still really want to go to. Like,
It's such a great festival.
I know. Not even like for the music, because I'm like a moderate
Great
grindcore
experience.
fan. I like it and stuff like that. But Obscene Extreme just looks like such a fucking.
It's surrounded by trees and stuff as well. I was like,
Czech Republic is a beautiful country as well.
Like, this is fucking cool. And yeah, there's the Bone Museum, which has got just like lots of skulls and stuff. And I wanted to go to it, but then Dan War, who was driving us there, said, "Oh, we're going to look at some football fields." And it's like, I'll just go to a festival then.
Yeah.
Not a football fan.
So, yeah. I was about to say. I think.
I'm a rugby fan, not a football fan. So there you go. And well, let's hope. Again, I keep saying that. Hope that word. Hope that gigs happen again, and we can see you guys on stage and not once more, but a load more times, and to play Bloodstock again.
Well, as soon as we can, I'm thinking that local touring will return before.
Yeah, local touring
like we'll be
start
able to
first. Then it would be the.
I would have thought so, but I could be totally wrong. You might find that like the corporate overlords that own the large international touring industry may just push forward anyway. But we're desperate to go out and play new songs.
Yeah, and
we really are. We only had one fucking opportunity since we released the goddamn album, which was Southwest Heavy Fest. My open that is still scheduled in to go on this year.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean it's quite a small scale event. We managed it last time, and
Because I've been to the venue before.
it was like socially distanced, so people were wearing masks, you know, and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna go to that, but I couldn't go in the end.
You know, not. I think like if events are gonna continue, that's obviously the way that they'll have to be for a while.
They have to be like that for a while until everyone's
Only
got
if
like the vaccines and shit done.
Yeah, and only if the infection rate allows for it, right? Like, I don't want to push
Right,
too hard for there to
if
be
it's
shows. Like,
down
right
a
now.
certain amount of cases, they're like, we'll slowly let people, you know, what it was like before, cram into a bloody room. But at the moment in time, it's got to be social distanced, which obviously they've done that in other countries. They did a festival in Italy where they had them sit down, but they still had to wear their masks. And they done a festival in Finland, and
I think we'll hopefully start to move that way. I don't know. But
Undergain did that.
This is moving into a wider discussion, right? About how like fucking
and Undergain did that as well when it was their album last year. The new
infection
album.
rate will go down with
They
our current leader.
they had people sitting down while they were doing playing a song. It's like I've usually seen people moshing, not sitting down.
We had a table in front. We had tables in front of us, and that was a bit of a weird one. But
Yeah, I was trying to see what it was like because I always saw was pictures of the band playing. I didn't see pictures of the audience. I didn't know how it was set out.
It was like you had like a load of round tables, and like people were sat, and they were trying to keep obviously like groups to tables. It worked really really well. Like I think it's obviously the safest way to do it, and if it's not safe, don't do it. Like we even had our doubts at first. We were skeptical that, you know, was it going to work? Are people just going to get drunk and then fuck?
If I did that, then I'll be a bit weird. Like, it's like, yeah, move, bang your head, get a pit going. It's like, can't do it, can you? Fuck.
No, I took the opposite approach, and I think this is like worked off quite well. It's quite funny. Is I just started telling people to sit still, and I started telling them, I don't want to see a mosh pit, and I don't want to see walls of death. I want to see you sit in your seats, and I want to see you mosh appropriately and safely. And
stick your elbows out.
It's quite funny.
But, I was meant to go to Electric Ballroom with a couple of mates here to see Marduk because they were going to do that, but obviously it got cancelled because the new restrictions were coming in and everything. So
yeah, unfortunately, our country is in a position right now where the infection rate is just too high
it's too high to do.
Yeah, it sucks. You know, I'd love to meet up with everyone, but until it's
I'd love to meet up with you guys again and hopefully come over to your place and hang out.
Our part, right? Like follow the rules and regulations in the right
follow
way.
it for now, but hopefully, I keep saying hopefully, shut up.
No, you're right to though, right? Like,
well, hopefully, I keep saying because there's that word you say all the time. Hopefully,
I fucking hope so. I think we.
Hopefully, gigs and festivals will start up again this year, to whatever extent it will be. Fingers crossed, and we can all just meet up on the field, give each other hugs, maybe have a cry or two. Who knows? And.
Oh
like,
God!
You,
how many emotional crying moments do you think overdue for many of us?
I missed you so much. You want a beer? Yeah, sure. Just calm down afterwards.
John's gonna have his hands full, isn't he? Once fucking hell, we're all.
He did have the Griffin Open where everyone was sat down in their own seats and stuff. It worked, and then all of a sudden, I think it was like it was Halloween. Met up with my mate Chris and his wife Georgie and a couple of other mates, and then I went back to their house for a bit, and I was like, okay, it was because the plan was to stay over theirs, but obviously like, new restrictions, and then okay, I'm gonna have to go home afterwards. Well, I was like, it's all right. I get to go to the house for a bit, see the dog again because they got a cute little dog, and watching Devon Townsend. And the dog joining in, which was cool. And because they were like, "Oh, we got to get work," it's like because they were going to go to Cornwall, and it's like, "Well, we're going to go to Cornwall tomorrow." Yeah, all right. It's like, cool. I'll go home. And this is why I love Chris and Georgie because Georgie paid for my Uber back home. So I was like, she didn't have to do that.
Nice.
Like, there was music involved. It was Devin Townsend, who is an amazing human being, and he deserves your love. And his music is amazing. And on that note,
Yeah.
thank you to you for coming on Jake's Metal Chat.
Fine,
You're
man.
always welcome to
Thank
come
you.
back, and we can talk more.
It was overdue, wasn't it? We've been kept saying, oh yeah, God.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. I was like trying to get you like last year, but now I've got you this year, and trying to get more guests for like March, April, May, June, July. There, you know, I'm getting there.
Yeah, man. I say I've been watching them where I can, and you know it's really cool.
Yeah,
to see
just
everyone.
watch them when you can. I mean, if you've got 3 hours of your life, watch the one with Camley.
Oh man, yeah, Cam seems like he's quite a funny individual. I've seen him on other things.
Yeah, he had a lot to talk about because obviously he was in the death metal scene from the very beginning in 83, 84.
Not like a fresh-faced youngster.
No, he pretty much saw it evolving.
Yeah.
Right before his eyes.
But yeah, it's cool. It is really cool, man. See, like obviously you doing stuff and Simon doing stuff.
Yeah, I got the idea because of Cam, who I did a live stream with, who was releasing a documentary called The Growl, which I don't know when that's been released yet. He probably doesn't even know either. But once it's out, I'm gonna watch it because it's all about death metal.
Oh yeah, that's why we're all here, right?
That's why we're here, death metal, or just metal in general, but mainly death metal. And before I end this chat, again, thank you for coming on. I have all the links in the description, Facebook page, bloody fucking what, Bandcamp. It was escaping me for a minute. And also a shout out to the new record shop that's going to be opening in Bristol, Black City Records.
Oh yeah, Simon said about that.
Yeah, Simon said about that. Yeah.
Because I actually know who the guy is because I bumped into him at the Griffin a bunch of times.
Wow, maybe we'll have to try and get some embodiment stuff in there.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of the underground stuff.
We're hopefully going to be doing, I say, some more merch.
More merch, so have a look out on the page.
Maybe record shops will be interested for a particular reason.
So yeah, so once that shop opens, whenever the house is going to open, he did tell me when they're going to announce the location and everything, but he didn't say. But obviously, I don't know where the location is.
No, awesome. I really
Wherever it is in Bristol, be sure to go there for all your metal needs, because it's going to be the #1 metal record shop in Bristol, as the Griffin is the #1 metal pub, and it has been actually awarded that.
Bill Bailey confirmed, right?
Bill Bailey can confirm. Bill Bailey will confirm it. I don't know.
And Brian Blessed as well.
Brian Blessed.
Both of those guys have mentioned it, haven't they?
He's mentioned it. It's like, go to the Griffin for a nice pint of ale.
I know Brian Blessed did. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was getting confused. But yeah, the Brian Blessed
did one, yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
I mean, hearing that from Brian Blessed is just amazing all on his own. And hopefully he appears in there one day. Then we can just have a nice old chat. I'll just say Gordon's alive and like, you shut up.
Yeah, I expect he would tell you definitely.
He'll just tell me to fuck up. I wouldn't mind that.
I was gonna say,
I'll be like this. I've just been told to fuck off by Brian Blessed. Yes.
Like you're just saying about having a nice chat, Brian Blessed. Holy shit, are you gonna be able to like hear afterwards?
You'll be like,
everyone in the room will be having a chat.
Just expressing it. I'll be like this.
That was the advice I was given about like metal frontman like mannerism. They were like, just think you're like Brian Blessed when you're addressing the crowd. Like that's the kind of bravado you need to bring to the role.
Pretty much, yeah. Just think you're Brian Blessed and you will be okay. Because there's nothing wrong with Brian Blessed. He's an absolute legend. And once again, thank you for tuning in on this video. You don't have to watch my videos, but it helps. And don't forget to like this video, share it around, and subscribe to my channel, because it stops me from going absolutely insane. and I can make more videos because of the unrelenting support. And he's been Harry, he's been Finn of Embodiment, and once this is all over, go see him live and be sure to pick up the new album, this one, This one. This one. This one. This one.
Yeah,
I say
that's
this one?
not Dio's Holy Diver, by the way.
Not
That's
Dio's Holy Diver, but
that's
still,
Embodiment.
it's still a brilliant album. And I've been Jake, your host of Jake's Metal Chat.
Thanks for having us on, man. Much
I will,
appreciated.
yeah, and very much appreciate you two coming on. And hello to Kieran and Leslie if you decide to watch this.
I'll fire my link. Afterwards.
And on that note, let's keep metal going.
Peace out, man.
Keep yourself sane.